Like, who the f has time for that bullshit?
I grew up in a hair salon. My mom owned a hair salon. I grew up with every type of black woman, from lawyers to doctors to the everyday black woman.
Right.
And these women were my aunties, they were my teachers, they were the reflections of everything that I wanted to be as a woman. These women cared for me, they nurtured me, they unapologetically were themselves. And they were my heroes. And everything that I do, I try to center myself and my purpose and the things that I needed to see and be fed as a young girl. But, you know, I am a black woman, so the work will always be through the lens of a black woman. I think we the most poppin' ones.
Hi friends, I hope you enjoyed that opening, and I just had to pay homage to my sisters because, child, if it's one thing we gonna do, we gonna slay a hairstyle every single time. So I posted a few photos of me with this long single ponytail braid, and I got a lot of questions about how I did it, and while I already have a video of that up, which I will link here, I wanted to show you guys how I maintain it. Which, pause for a second, because I'm sorry y'all, I gotta give myself a pat on the back, maybe even 2, maybe even 3, because this braid lasted me for 13 days. And not only did I do it myself, because child, I am not a stylist, but I did it on natural hair. I did not use a flat iron or a hot comb even this time. I worked out pretty much every single day while having it, and this braid lasted me 13 days. Okay, you can't tell me I'm not winning at life. So the downside is that you do have to do this process every night. You cannot skip this, unfortunately.
But this be pissing me off because I cannot sit here all day and try to flatten my fucking hair. Like, who the fuck has time for that bullshit?
But yeah, let's get into it. So first off, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to remove the base just because whenever I was filming this video, this was like day 8 or day 9, and I just wanted to get a fresh start to the week. So I am taking out the base, but just on a night-to-night basis, you don't have to do this. So I'm going to take a new strand of braiding hair out, and I will link what type of braiding hair that I get from the beauty supply store down in the description box. But I'm just going to detangle it from the ends all the way up to the curved notch at the top, just so that I can have a smooth base. And one huge tip whenever you're trying to preserve this style is to use edge control instead of a braiding gel for a stronger hold when going from day to day. I notice whenever I use the braiding gel, my hair just tends to revert a lot quicker just because I'm living in hot and humid Houston and because I work out all the time. So you're just going to take the edge control and you're just going to smooth the hairs on the top of your head down and backwards. I mean, this part is pretty self-explanatory, but yeah. And then I'm going to reinforce that hole with this got-to-be glued hairspray. And then I'm going to brush the hairs on the top of my head back. If you are doing this from night to night and not removing that wraparound base, you can just take the end of your rat tail comb and just smooth the hairs underneath your base. So this is, like I said, I think day 8 was when I was doing this, and I mean, this isn't bad, all things considered. So I'm going to take that edge control and I am going to work from top to bottom. You cannot work going from bottom up. You have to make sure that the section that you're working on is good before you move down, because otherwise you're just going to undo everything. So I'm just going to take some edge control and smooth the hairs from one side of the braid to the other, and I'm going to tuck the ends, and I'm going to do this moving down each section. I know the braid is really long, but you really only need to do this for the length of the braid that includes your natural hair and where your natural hair is sticking out. So for me, that's only about maybe 1/3 of the braid, maybe 1/2 of the braid at most. So you're not going to be doing the whole thing, so don't worry, it's not going to take you all night. Now once I get to the part where it is the ends of my hair, you guys know that I have layers now, so my ends are sticking out really bad.
Real bad.
So I'm going to apply an extra amount of edge control to these parts, and I'm going to use either the brush or the comb, whichever side works best for your hair and doesn't cause breakage. You're going to smooth the edge control with that. I'm going to use the comb part and tuck my ends in, and I just want to reiterate, make sure you're wrapping from one side of the braid to the other, so you don't have your ends from one side of the braid smoothed and tucked and then the other side they're sticking out. So work from one side of the braid to the other, so smooth from the back to the front and tuck the ends in. And here's the junction where my natural hair joins the braid. And then I'm just going to take some scissors and I'm going to trim any excess braiding hair that might have unraveled along the length of the braid. This is not my own hair, child. This is the braiding hair that has unraveled and has come loose. So I'm just trimming those hairs, and you can even trim the ends of your curl if need be to keep it looking put together. And this is what the braid is looking like. And another tip is to make sure that you look at your braid from both sides of your head. So as you can see, I'm looking at the braid from my right side. I don't see any hair sticking out, so I'm going to switch it to the left side and make sure I don't see any other hair sticking out, because sometimes your ends can kind of be hiding and you might have to retuck a few pieces.
I guess you wonder where I've been.
And now I'm just going to take a hardboard bristle brush and brush the hairs on the top of my head all the way back. And now I'm just going to start to reapply the base wrap. So I'm going to leave a little tail end out, and I'm going to begin to wrap the braiding hair around the base of my ponytail. And I'm going to take that piece of hair and place it over that tail end that I left out, locking it in place and helping to secure the base. And I'm just going to keep wrapping it around the base of my ponytail until I get to the other tail end. And another tip is to leave the last bit of the tail out and then just bobby pin that part down so that you can easily remove it later. So whenever you're ready to remove it, you can just take the bobby pin out, grasp the tail that you left out, and then just start unwrapping the base. This is just the way that I like to do it. You don't have to do it like I do. And of course, I'm going to smooth down my edges with my edge brush. Personally, I miss using my toothbrush. I'm a toothbrush as an edge brush kind of girl, but that's just me. And now you can see my braid looks a lot more put together and fresh and new. And so now I'm going to take a silk or satin scarf and I'm going to wrap it tautly around the braid. Make sure whenever you're wrapping this around your braid that you're wrapping it and pulling it tautly so that none of your hairs will unravel while you're sleeping or working out. You really only need to do this for the length of the braid or where your natural hair is braided into the braiding hair. Because I have layers, I like to make sure that that includes the junction where my hair stops and solely the braiding hair begins, because my ends be sticking out real bad. So I'm going to tie the first end of one scarf to the beginning of another scarf and begin to wrap that around. I'm going to tie the ends of the second scarf around my braid, and then I'm going to apply a scarf to the top. And then I'm gonna put on my bonnet and go to sleep. And whenever I get up in the morning, typically I like to work out in the morning, so I go to the gym just like this. Of course, you can see my scarf does move at night just like everyone else's, so I do have to readjust it before I go to the gym. But I do wear my hair like this whenever I am at the gym, and just remember, whenever you're done in the gym, to reset your hair before you get in the shower and before you let it dry. Y'all know I do not believe in letting wet natural hair just sit underneath a scarf and drying. You need to re-stretch your hair out by reapplying edge control. Reapply your scarves, then shower and let it dry before you take your scarves down, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Anyway, this is the finished result, and I had to go into work this day, but I hope you guys see that the results are like super fresh, and that's why this braid lasted me for 13 days. I'm gonna start wearing this style more often because it's cute, right? Yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you guys think of the hair maintenance videos, because maintaining natural hair out here is not for the weak. It's very much so annoying. Anyways, love you guys. Talk to you guys later. Bye.